Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CX Goalkeeper podcast. Your host, Gregorio Leoni, will have a smart discussion with expert, thought leader, and friends on customer experience, transformation, innovation, and leadership. I hope you will enjoy the next episode. Ladies and gentlemen, really a big pleasure to have Claire Boscq-Scott with me this evening. Hi, Claire.
Hello there. How are you?
I am really thrilled to have the discussion with you, Claire, the business owner of BIZSHUI, but also newly a CEO. You mentioned that earlier. Really happy, really thrilled for you. Congratulations for your new positions. Perhaps for the audience that is not yet aware of your new roles, could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Claire Boscq-Scott. I am French originally, but I have been living on a little island, which is called Jersey, I first came here 30 years ago when I was 18. That gives you all my age already, right?
25.
I kind of fell in love. I was doing summer seasons here and going back to France in the winter. And then I worked for Disney World in Epcot Center in Florida, came back to England, and then I moved to Jersey 20 years ago. And at the time I was running hotels. So I've always been in the hospitality industry. I'd done my catering school. My dad had a restaurant, so I was carrying plate from about the age of 7. So, when you're in that industry, you either love it or hate it, right? And I loved it. I love the interaction with people. I love seeing them happy. I love seeing them coming back. And it was always something that, I wanted to do, until my life kind of went into the CX industry about 12 years ago, when I started my business as a mystery shopper first. And then, I went more into the customer experience, the employee experience, the training side of it, and kind of the keynote presentations and the consulting afterwards. So yes, it's been a 3 decades of exciting kind of opportunities. And yesterday, my first day as the CEO of the Jersey Hospitality Association. So on my little island of Jersey, the association who looks after all the hospitality, the tourism and leisure as well.
And again, really congratulations, I allow to say, not only from myself, but also from all the audience and the CX community. Very well done and well deserved for this new role. We had also in the pre-discussion, and it was really an outstanding discussion. You were able to link Feng Shui to the business. And let's perhaps start also with a bit of history of that on my side. When you mentioned that the first time, I was really thinking, Feng Shui, I already heard something about that. And then I was thinking, okay, my mother told me that we need to have something like, and sorry if I'm making some mistakes, we need to have something water in the house. And then it was a discussion about how to put the bed in the right way to get the right energy flows. And then was also something, let's decorate our door at the entrance, because this is the first impression of something
fantastic.
Like that. And then I said, okay, let's start putting them together and understand how it could work also in business. And then I watched one of your presentation, and then was really for me clear. Now I would like to make that a bit more understandable also for the audience, for people not really knowing that. Where did this idea came to link Feng Shui to business?
Well, everything in life around us or inside us, it's all about energy, right? So when you feel good in yourself, you're going to be happy, you're going to be skipping to work, you're going to give great service, you're going to feel good, right? And, when you feel good, people know it, and you give great service, and they'll come back, they'll recommend you, and that makes sense, right? It's quite simple. You feel good, you're going to give great service. That's quite simple. What people don't realize is environment has a direct effect on our emotions and our subconscious. So if you have an environment which is dark, which is gray, which has no window, which is dirty, which smells, well, you know, subconsciously, physically, emotionally, mentally, you're going to be drained because you have no uplifting energy around you. And it's just that really dark, bad energy, just, you know, and that's going to take you down and down and down. And so the Feng Shui, I've been practicing it for 10 years. And I've kind of hidden it, right? Because I've always thought if I was talking about Feng Shui, people have gone, oh, Claire's gone all woo-woo kind of things, right? And so I kind of talked about it around environment psychology, and, you know, people kind of corporate will kind of look at it saying, oh, okay, I kind of get what you're trying to say. And really this year with the pandemic and everything that was happening, I just thought, you know what, if now is the moment that we need to help people create better environment, now it is the moment, right? You know, everybody's been moved, everybody's had to work from home, from a kitchen table, from the side of a bed, having to share with 5 or 6 other people in a home. And that has affected so many people in so many levels. And it's still affecting people now, because now you have that kind of mix, that blend between half back in the office, half back here. Actually, people started to get used to working from home, started to have some habits. Now they've got to go back in the office. A lot of anxiety, a lot of, you know, that kind of subconscious emotions that, you know, you not necessarily know why it's there, but it's there. And that has a lot to do with our environment. So, and that's kind of where I started bringing that BIZSHUI, which is looking at the physical environment of somebody, whether it's an organization or an individual, then looking at their personal state of being. So if you feel good outside and you feel good inside, you're going to feel good with others. And that's kind of how the three kind of link with each other. And the ultimate, you know, because obviously you and I talk about customer experience, you know, the ultimate purpose of that is still to deliver amazing customer experiences, but it's an extra way to get there, right? It's an extra way to get there that not everybody think about, you know, that our environment affects us as people.
It's really interesting, and I really like this way to come from another side, because in customer experience we are always speaking about to differentiate ourselves from the others.
Right.
Have a look at my background. I look at your background. For me, it's clear, Claire, Feng Shui. This is the link, and it was really outstanding to see how you were able to link that. If I understand well, also from your courses, Shui means energy. Where is the source of your personal energy, Claire?
Well, yes, I've been asked that very, very often. I don't know. It really is. I've got a cheer, an inside desire, you know, burning inside me to help people. You know, I think everything in life is about relationship, right? You know, you want to connect, you want to help people. And when the pandemic arrived, Gregorio, I lost all my business in 3 days. Last March, everything is gone in 3 days. 12 years in business, yet everything gone. And you're like, you know, that was probably the worst place and the worst time in my life, because no one needed my help, or I couldn't help anybody. You know, that was kind of that situation. And this is what I love doing. You know, I love connecting with people. So I also get energy from people, you know. So you get energy from the outside. I love walking in the morning. I get up at 6 o'clock, well, just before 6 o'clock, so I can go for an hour walk. I love standing by the sun and just getting the energy from nature as well. You know, it's beautiful. And then the more you do that, the more you can give and share that energy as well with others. You know, you kind of you're bringing it in and then you're giving it out again. It's a beautiful way to kind of keep your batteries going as well.
I really like what you are saying, and it's similar to me, and linked also to what you are explaining. Coming into the home office situation, trying to create new habits, trying to split my personal life with my business life. And as you said, you go out 1 hour for walking. I go out only half an hour for jogging, and therefore I run. But this is really, for me, getting energy that I can use during the day. And
Absolutely.
my wife came to me and said, since you started doing that, you have more energy. And this is a positive energy. It was difficult to understand, but when you are doing that on a daily basis, because it's get an habit, then it's easier. And I think what you are saying make completely sense. And if I understand well and remember well, you have quite a lot of yellow. You're wearing a yellow shirt, and then you have also pullover yellow behind you. It's also linked to energy, correct?
Yeah, so again, you know, when you're kind of looking at Feng Shui, you know, it's so Feng Shui is wind and water. So there's kind of that's literally the two words that, you know, but in Feng Shui, like your mother was telling you, there's kind of 5 elements, and the 5 elements of nature that the Chinese knew they couldn't live outside, otherwise they'll get eaten by animals. So but they wanted to bring the nature inside. So in any environment, we want to have some water. The water feeds the wood, wood feeds fire, fire feeds earth, and earth feeds metal, and metal feeds water. So the 5 elements, and within ourselves, we all have some of those elements which are a little bit more pronounced from one person to the other. So guess what mine is? So mine is my main element is fire, right? So actually, you know, for me, I'm always on the go. I'm always, you know, doing something. But you can't be like 100%, 100 miles an hour all the time, right? Otherwise, you know, your batteries will get charged. So going for a walk by the sea, walking my feet in the sand, will ground me, because obviously the water turns down the fire, and so does the earth, right? So being able to understand what your element is, whether it's within your home environment or whether it's in yourself, it's a very powerful way. So, you know, Gregorio, when you do teamworks and things like that, you will do for insight, you do the colors, you know, so you're understanding how your teams are working. So you may have a red one, and you may have the yellows, and you may have the blues. Well, we kind of, in Feng Shui, we kind of do the same thing, but it's more with the elements of nature. And from that, you can understand how you communicate and how you communicate with others. How do you ground yourself? How do you calm yourself? How do you need a bit of excitement and ignition? And colors is so powerful. It really is. So actually, if you're going for an interview or if you're going for a pitch, wear red, right? Red is a fire color. You can just wear your knickers and bra. Red is fine. You don't have to wear it outside. You can wear it inside, right? So using those elements of nature as well will help you feel good by just wearing those different colors. So for me, yes, the yellow is my brand color. I feel good when I go on stage. I've got my yellow shoes, my yellow jacket, you know, and it really kind of gives me that energy, that power, that sun kind of things when you're walking in somewhere. I've got a friend of mine, she loves the red, so the red, she'll walk in and you're just like, wow, you know, it really kind of, it brings that power into it. So when you're creating your own brand as a business, you know, look at the color that you're using. What is it that you want to connect with your customers, you know? And everything is about connecting on an emotional level. So whether you're connecting through the senses, you know, what do you smell? What can you hear? What can you touch? The 5 senses are direct drivers to your customers. So creating a brand which is going to connect with your customers at their emotional level is very, very powerful.
I fully agree. I have also some red on,
Right.
on my cap, basically. And I think this is a really old-fashioned joke, but I need to say that now that you are a CEO, you will also wear the red tie, because often the CEOs at the red tie, and that perhaps is something that you will get in future. Joke by side, and sorry for being so old-fashioned with these jokes. But I think what you are saying is really key, because some years ago we were always saying we need as business to walk in customer shoes, but nowadays it's not enough to walk in customer shoes. We need to feel, smell, and all these feelings, we need to feel them as the customer, because we are really in a new setup and then in a new world, and therefore I really think that also your model that you prepare with BIZSHUI, it's really interesting. It's split in 3 main groups: the physical environment that you mentioned earlier, the customer experience side that you mentioned, and the personal state of being. I would like to quickly walk through these 3 main groups with you. Can we please start with the physical environments? And what I would like is also for the audience, if you have also some example, practical example that you could share, because this brings really value added. If somebody wants to have really the details, please contact Claire, or we will share also the web page of BIZSHUI in the podcast notes. More than happy to create all the connections.
Well, thank you, Gregorio. Yes, no, it's an interesting thing, really, because throughout, when I had my business, I created a strategy called Caring Service Culture Strategy, and there was 4 elements to it. Assess. Once you've assessed and understood what people wanted, what the environment was, then what the customers wanted, then you could start developing some strategies. Then you implement or train, and then you measure. So those are where my kind of 4 areas that, I was kind of, when I go into a business organization, we would do those 4 areas. And the environment, whether you're assessing how it is. So for me, a mystery shopper, it's a very important part of it, right? You're walking in somewhere, what can you see? What can you hear? Does it smell good? Do my eyes kind of go shining? Do I want to go and buy something? And this is where you start, doing a different kind of assessment with your customers, because you are connecting with those 5 senses. So first we would assess and understand where the business is, or if it's an individual, we would do the same thing. Where are they in the business at the moment? Where, how they're feeling at this moment in time. So then, the second big thing is it's all about clutter. So you probably heard me talk about clutter, but clutter is bad energy, right? If you have mess everywhere, you can't find things, right? If you have a mess in your desktop, you can't find your file. Your computer's going to be slow, right? If you start clearing files, your computer's going to start working again. Well, it's the same thing with your filing cabinet and clients that you haven't seen for 10 years, whether it's your fridge and you want to empty your fridge and cleanse it, whether it's your computer desk or whether it's your home office or home, keeping an eye on clutter is very, very important, because it will start keeping you down and stopping you from having different opportunities. So second step is looking at the clutter and decluttering. And then once you've decluttered and you've got a nice space, you can start adding some cures. So like your mother was saying, yes, look at your front door. The front door is the first thing that people see, right? You walk into a shop, you want to have the windows gorgeous. You want to have that front door which opens up and it smells good, and you want to be attracted in it. So the front door is a big thing. You want people to sweep the floor so it's nice and clean and welcoming, when you're coming in. Or is it locked and you can't actually get in? Or this one door, there's cigarette butts everywhere. It's not inviting, right? So, things like that are very important. And then you can look at, maybe specific, area. So if we're looking at an office desk or a home office, for example, you were talking about your bed and the position of your bed. Well, with an office, the position of your desk is very important. You need to be in a commanding position. Have you ever seen a CEO of a Fortune 500 with his head facing the wall? Right? Never. Okay, they've got the big desk, they've got the big, they've got the wall in their back, they can see who's coming in the door, they're in control, they're in charge. Well, whether you're a Fortune 500 or whether it's yourself in your office, you need to have that commanding position as well, because then you see people coming through the door. Your body keeps you safe. That's all it does all day. So give your body a rest and make sure that, everywhere you have the right position and you can see people coming in, you're safe, and then you can work in a very, very good way. So that's a really, really important part of things. And then you can add things. So, you can add the diffusers and put some essential oils. If you're feeling a bit tired and you want a bit of energy, put a little bit of orange on your wrist and just rub it. Oh, it's just beautiful. It's just get you going. If you're feeling that you want a bit of rest and actually calm down a bit, use a bit of lavender. So using those kind of things, adding some cures, removing some things will really shift the energy. So again, using colors, you talked about yellow, if your office is a bit doom and gloom, right? Add a bit of fire in it, add a bit of red, put painting up, turn up some lights or some candles, and really kind of look at how do you feel in that space? Are you feeling energized? Or are you feeling drained? And so it's really important to feel that space, just like you were saying, for our customers. It's the same for our employees and our customers. They need to feel good in their space so they can either buy from you, stay more longer because it feels good, or your employees, well, if they feel good, they will sell more, they'll be happier, they'll want to come back the next day and won't ring off sick all the time. That's their well-being that is looked after from perhaps a place that you never thought that would affect them.
I think what you're saying makes totally sense. And only to add that, because you didn't state it that, but it's not only about the physical environment, but it's also about the digital environment. If
Right.
customer goes to a web page or open an app, the first impression really count.
Right.
And if the first page of your web page is crap, then nobody's going to click somewhere or to buy your products because it's not understandable, it's too complex to navigate, you don't find the information that you need, and I'm fully agree with you. If you enjoyed this episode, please share the word of mouth, subscribe it, share it. Until the next episode, please don't forget, we are not in a B2B or B2C business, we are in a human-to-human environment. Thank you!